A young boy is abandoned in a wildlife reserve, left crying on a dirt road. Nearby, a massive lion named Simba roams the area, his mane flowing in the morning breeze. Noticing the child, Simba growls and rushes toward him, appearing ready to attack. The terrified boy, unable to escape, freezes in fear. However, just as Simba reaches him, he leaps over the child and tackles another lion that had been approaching unseen. A fierce battle ensues, with Simba overpowering the intruder. The boy, too young to understand, watches in shock as the dominant lion defends him. Meanwhile, Frank, a ranger at the reserve, happens upon the scene. Though used to witnessing lion fights, he is stunned when he notices a small child just a few feet away from the massive predators. Simba's protective nature stems from his past. Years ago, Frank rescued him as a cub after poachers killed his mother. The helpless lion cub had no chance of survival on his own, so Frank raised him with great care, feeding him and eventually introducing him to a lion pride. As Simba grew, he became one of the most dominant males in the reserve, often engaging in fights to establish his territory. Frank monitored him closely, proud of how well Simba had adapted to life in the wild. However, despite the sanctuary's protections, recent incidents with poachers had weakened the reserve's security. It was likely through these breaches that the young child had ended up alone on the road, facing unknown dangers. Determined to find out how the boy got there, Frank reviews surveillance footage from the reserve's security cameras. What he sees breaks his heart. An old, damaged car appears at the reserve's border, and a young woman steps out with the child in her arms. She looks around anxiously before squeezing through a weak spot in the fence and placing the boy on the road. After a brief moment, she kisses his forehead lovingly and returns to the car, driving away without him. The scene leaves Frank with more questions than answers. Why abandon a child in the middle of a wildlife reserve? Did the mother believe someone would find him quickly? Or was she desperate and out of options? Though Frank knows he may never get answers, his focus shifts to caring for the boy, who is visibly shaken but slowly warming up to his presence. As the child, named David, starts settling in, Frank grows attached to him. The authorities begin searching for his family, but no relatives can be found. If no one steps forward, David will be placed in an orphanage. The idea of sending the boy away troubles Frank deeply. Having witnessed Simba's miraculous act of protection, he feels a growing responsibility for the child. While Frank never imagined himself as a caretaker for a child, he realizes that David, much like Simba all those years ago, has been left alone in the world. He starts considering an unthinkable decision, taking care of David himself. When the final report confirms that David's family is untraceable, the authorities prepare to send him to an orphanage. But by then, Frank has already made up his mind. He will adopt the boy. Though the process is long and challenging, he is determined to provide David with a stable, loving home. Over the following weeks, the two form a deep bond. David shows a natural curiosity about the reserve, particularly the lions, and Frank takes him to see them often. One day, when they visit, David squeals with joy at the sight of lion cubs playing, a sign that he is truly beginning to heal from his trauma. Finally, after months of paperwork and legal procedures, Frank officially becomes David's guardian. To celebrate, they take a drive through the reserve together. As they pass the spot where David was found, Simba is seen basking in the evening sun. The massive lion lifts his head, locking eyes with Frank and the child. It is a silent yet powerful moment, as if Simba recognizes how their lives have intertwined. Frank knows that one day, when David is older, he will tell him the full story, how a lion saved his life, just as Frank once saved Simba's. Their journey has come full circle, and together, they embark on a new chapter as father and son.